All right, 8th grade, we are going to start lesson 1, analyzing the development of a central idea. All right, so if you will turn to page 3 in your book, we will go ahead and read this together. Starting at this paragraph. Get to the point. When people you're talking with tell you to get to the point, they want you to state your central idea as clearly and precisely as you can. A central idea is more than just a topic. In the picture below, the topic is city parks. But what is the artist communicating about city parks? The central idea is what the author has to say about the topic. Study the picture and read the caption. What is the artist communicating about city parks? All right, so here's the caption. City parks are great places to relax and have fun. All right, so we've got two people having a little picnic. We got a guy relaxing over here, reading a newspaper. We got kids playing a game. Okay. Circle details in the picture that support the central idea stated in the caption. All right, and it looks like what we circled just now is actually what we're going to circle in the picture. So we can say these people having a picnic, this guy relaxing, reading the newspaper, these kids playing soccer. That shows that it is a great place to relax and have fun. It is not enough to state a central idea and leave it at that. Authors must develop their central idea by giving you supporting details. Supporting details answer questions such as, how do you know? Or, why is this so? Use the details that we circled in the picture to help us fill out the chart below. So, the central idea is, city parks are great places to relax and have fun. So a supporting detail would be that there's a man reading the newspaper. That's a nice relaxing place to read a newspaper. People are having a picnic. It's a nice relaxing place to have a picnic. And another supporting detail would be the kids are playing soccer. Okay, go ahead and fill that in. When you read, think about the main point the author is trying to make. Look for details that support that main point. Remember, though, that sometimes a central idea is implied rather than just explicitly or obviously said. Read the first 2 paragraphs of the historical account about the city of San Antonio. All right, I'm going to start reading right here. Follow along with me. San Antonio is currently the 7th largest city in the United States, but not many know the remarkable history behind the modern-day metropolis. In 1691, a group of Spanish explorers happened upon a river and a Native American settlement in what is now the state of Texas. They named both San Antonio because it was June 13th, the feast day of Saint Anthony. Soon, the river became home to a fort, a Catholic mission, and a community, all of which they called San Antonio de los Llanos. For the next 100 years, San Antonio was mostly under Spanish control. In the early 1800s, the Spanish turned the old mission into a fort called the Alamo. Texans took control of the fort in 1835. Shortly after, General Santa Anna arrived with an army of 2,000 people. Fewer than 200 soldiers and volunteers gathered in the Alamo, but they held off the Mexican army for 13 days. On March 2nd, 1836, Texas declared its independence from Mexico, and on December 28th, 1845, became a united state. All right, explore how to answer these questions. What is the central idea, and how does the author use details to develop it? The topic of the account is San Antonio, but what is the author saying about San Antonio? To help you figure out the central idea, circle important details about San Antonio in the account. Okay, so we need some very important details about San Antonio. I'm going to highlight them, okay? So we know it's about San Antonio. We can't say the main idea is San Antonio. But we got to know, what are they wanting us to know about it really? I think that what they are trying to tell us is that there is a remarkable history behind the modern day metropolis. It's not just a place, there is a lot of history to it. So the first thing that they tell us about is how Spanish explorers found a river, and there was a Native American settlement there, which is now in the state of Texas, and they named it San Antonio because it was June 13th, the feast of St. Anthony. Soon the river became home to a fort, Catholic mission, and a community, all of which they called San Antonio de los Llanos. So basically, these Spanish explorers colonized it. Doesn't really say if the Native Americans got booted out or not. And then they named it San Antonio. And then it became home to a fort, a Catholic mission, and a community. For the next 100 years, San Antonio was mostly under Spanish control. In the early 1800s, the Spanish turned the old mission into a fort called the Alamo. Texans took control of the fort in 1835. Okay, so basically, San Antonio was in Spanish control, and then the Texans took control of the fort. And then a guy named General Santa Anna arrived with an army of 2,000 strong. Fewer than 200 soldiers and volunteers gathered in the Alamo, but they held off the Mexican army for 13 days. So there's a lot of history there at the Alamo. Texas declared its independence from Mexico. Okay. Based on the supporting details, what central idea is the author communicating about San Antonio? Okay, I'm looking at my book, so if you get like an awkward moment of silence from me, it's because I'm reading. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I think what I would say, what is the central idea? I would probably say that San Antonio is a modern-day metropolis with a remarkable history. I would say that's the central idea they're wanting us to get at. They want us to know that there was a very strong history there. It's not just like, this isn't just the history of San Antonio, it's about the remarkable history of San Antonio. So I'm going to say San Antonio is a modern day metropolis with a remarkable history. Oops. That would be the main idea. Now, what is the supporting detail that the author uses to develop that as the central idea? Well, I would probably use any of the things we highlighted. We could probably say that because, or the author says, that not many know the remarkable history. And then the author, I'm going to say he because the author's name is Adam Scott, and then he gives a short history of San Antonio. Okay, signal words such as like, now, soon, and for the next 100 years help you see how the supporting details are connected. So, how are the details connected or related to each other? I would say that the way that the details are connected is, it's almost like chronologically, right? Like it happens in order of what happened first, then second, then third, then last. So, I would probably say the details are given to us in order of that they happened historically. And that helps us know how they're connected. They're connected by, you know, if we could make this into a timeline, you could easily see how these, you know, each detail is actually connected to the other because of history. All right, you guys, let's do this page and then we'll be done for today. Continue reading about San Antonio. Use the closed reading and the hint to help you answer the question. Okay, San Antonio prospered after the Civil War. And in 1877, the first railway reached the town. By 1900, 5 railways served San Antonio, the largest city in Texas with 50,000 people. Today, San Antonio thrives. It is home to 5 military bases, more than 1 million people, and Market Square, the largest Mexican marketplace outside of Mexico. San Antonio is a lively city with a rich and memorable history. Let's go ahead and take a look at the close reader habit and the hint. What is the central idea of this final paragraph? Underline details that support the idea. Remember that a single sentence might contain more than one detail. Okay, so I would probably say that the main idea of these last few paragraphs is that San Antonio is thriving now. Okay, so I would say San Antonio is thriving. It is home to 5 military bases. These are all details to prove it. It has more than 1 million people. It has a market square, which is the largest Mexican marketplace outside Mexico. And it's a lively city, rich with memorable history. So I'd say the main idea is San Antonio is thriving, and these are all the details. Okay. Look at the hint. Which choice summarizes all of the ideas in the account? So let's read the question. Which sentence best states the central idea of the account? After the Civil War, the city of San Antonio prospered. Yeah, I believe that's true, but I don't think that's the central idea of the whole account. San Antonio is famous because of the Alamo. Not really. It's not just famous because of the Alamo. Market Square is a large Mexican marketplace in San Antonio. Well, I mean, that's true, but that's definitely not a good sentence to describe the central idea of the whole account. San Antonio is a thriving city with a fascinating history. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I like that one the best. Because isn't that exactly what I said the central idea should be? Today, San Antonio thrives. Okay. Look back at the answer you chose above. How is it supported by each paragraph in the account? Okay, so we said that San Antonio is a thriving city. That can be proven by this last paragraph. And then it says it has a fascinating history. And that can be proven from this paragraph, and even this paragraph talking about the railway. Okay, so let's say that. Let's say the last paragraph mind my stupid handwriting. Ugh, it's so hard to write on this iPad. The last paragraph tells how San Antonio is a prospering and thriving city, comma, the other 3 paragraphs describe the fascinating history. All right, guys, we're going to stop there, but what I want you to do is I want you to scan page 5, and I'll teach you how to do that. And I want you to upload it to the Google slide, and then you're going to submit this Google Doc as your homework, and that's what you get your points on for today. All right, guys, I'll see you later.